So viewers, welcome to yet another episode of the Youth Show. In this show, we talk about the various problems the current youth is facing, be it your career, be it your education, be it your workplace. Any and every problem that a youth faces, we discuss over here. So if you are someone who is facing these kinds of problems, these kinds of obstacles, do watch our channel, do follow our channel. Thank you. Professor Alex, a lot of our viewers, a majority of them are students, they are interested in going abroad to Canada for their further studies. But recently, for the past few days, there has been a lot of negative reviews regarding Canada. So what kind of situation is there and what should a particular student do?
Okay, it's a very good question, and myself, I am educated in Canada in the University of British Columbia, and I live in Canada most of the time, and then I split between US and India. So I think I am quite I have my foot in the country and I know what's going on. So I would love to answer this question. So see, my experience with Canada has been exemplary. I studied in the University of British Columbia with full scholarship. Then at that time I got a job in TELUS, and when I was graduating, and it was a very happy story, and I can tell about my classmates and colleagues also. But now looking at the situation, I can tell you a few things about Canada. First of all is when I went, it was not so easy to get into Canada or to get into university, but over time Canada has increased the number of intake it is taking from countries like India, China and other places. And there I think there was a strategic mistake by taking in too much number of students, and as a result most students did not get a chance to study in the universities, but they went for diploma colleges or other community colleges. So for a student who is aspiring to go to Canada, if you want to have a good experience after your graduation, try to go to universities rather than diploma or short-term certificates. Try to go to universities or colleges is the second choice, where you can get the degrees, right? Not diplomas. Try to get degrees or not certificates, not 1 year certificates, 2 year certification or diploma programs, but try to go for the 4-year degree programs or the master's degree of 2 years or 1.5 years. Okay, this is number one. Second is that your English speaking abilities must be quite developed, because Canada is an English and French speaking country. It's two languages, the official languages. So unless you can speak those languages well, unless you are quite fluent in those languages, you'll face problems getting a job in Canada. Third is Canadian work experience. So internships are very much required, like sometimes it's called a co-op program in Canada, or internships, even if it's an online internship, but it's very important to have internships in your resume. You must use the on-campus work study program, and even if it's not there, try to get teaching assistantships or research assistantships from teachers. I myself got teaching assistantship and then research assistantship in UBC, and that gave me a lot of exposure how to deal with people in Canada, how to deal with the citizens and with the students in Canada. So summary is, try to get into universities with the 4-year degrees or with 2-year masters, and try to avoid the diplomas or short-term programs. Try to improve your English by giving TOEFL, by studying and practicing English and or French even, because Canada has English and French as two of the official languages. Number 3 is, try to get internships, try to align your skills to the requirements of Canada. Like if you're in IT, right now, AI related programming, Python, SAP, HANA, then Salesforce, all these are technical skills which are in demand. Or if you are in the tourism sector, Canada is known to have a very big tourism sector, then you must know the marketing, sales, you must know Salesforce or HubSpot CRM, and the ERP, you must know how to convince customers. So be equipped properly. And next point I think is, go with a mind that you have to struggle. Lots of people, millions of people go and settle in Canada, but I would say very few have it very easily, because Canada is a very nice place, beautiful place, but there's a lot of competition from Canadians, permanent residents, as well as international students, as well as people getting the work study or directly coming with a work permit. So it's not very easy to break into it, especially for freshers, because there's something in Canada, I know it bothered me even, it's called the Canadian work experience. Now for a fresher coming from another country, how will you get a Canadian work experience, right? So it's a chicken and egg story. Unless you get a Canadian work experience, you will not be hired, and then unless you are hired, how will you get a Canadian work experience? So the way I did it is through teaching assistantships, research assistantships. I volunteered a lot, and that is something that I cannot highlight enough. Try to volunteer your time. You will have Canadian at least volunteer experience or volunteer work experience that you can put in your resume even if you are not getting money. Number two is you will get a lot of network, lot of contacts, and those networks can give you some break. Third is attend lot of conferences, lot of workshops. In those conferences and workshops also you can get lot of referrals. And in Canada, where the market is relatively small rather than US, which has a much bigger market, a lot of recruitment happens through references. A lot of recruitment happens through recommendation letters. So keep a very good connection with your professors, with your seniors, with your other contacts which you can get through volunteering, through internships, as well as through other conferences and all. I remember I was going to conferences, and I got a lot of cards, and I followed up with those contacts with my area of research or projects, and I got a lot of interviews from those references. So that is also one of the very important points which most students ignore, because volunteering, internships, networking, being teaching assistant or research assistant, these are very, very useful I would say tools or useful endeavors to build up your resume, build up your confidence, get that Canadian experience and Canadian network, so that you can crack into a job in Canada. And most of all, take a long-term view. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a struggle, but there are almost all people I know, I've seen, they've struggled. Some struggled 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but they have got into the job market, into the areas they were looking for, they were dreaming about. But it's also about your competency, right? Because Canada is a relatively smaller market. Really the very competitive people, very competent people, experts, they thrive into the job market. If you're weak in those skill areas, Canada is difficult to break into. And many people, they actually do odd jobs, right? They do odd jobs like in the McDonald's or the Tim Hortons, or sometimes in the retail, right? Because they are not getting the job that they are qualified for. It's because they have to either they're weak in English, or their level of expertise is not that, because in Canada it's really a country where competent people thrive. And if you're not competent, it's difficult. And then again, the experience, as I said, the Canadian job experience or work experience, then reference and networks matter a lot. I think it matters a little disproportionately higher than some other countries. But that is something that with an amicable approach, with a networking approach, volunteering approach, you can build a good network where people will be willing to vouch for you, vouch for your work ethics, or vouch for your honesty, integrity and expertise. So it's just being out there and doing it, rather than just keeping on applying or just studying and applying for a job. in addition to study, you have to work a lot, network a lot, volunteer a lot, and keep trying with a positive spirit. And I know, hundreds of colleagues, batchmates, juniors, they all got a job, all are well settled in Canada. So I think you can also be well settled in Canada. But as I said in summary, Canada is a country of very competent people. If you don't have that competency, if you don't have the knowledge, it's very difficult to lie your way into a good job or or keep that job in Canada, because it's a very nice country. It's a beautiful country with a very beautiful landscapes, healthcare, polite people, very nice people, developed roadways, developed infrastructure. So good people, competent people want to stay in Canada. So that's why those who are less competent, it's very difficult to break into that job market in Canada. So I think with all these preparation and keeping a positive spirit, keeping honesty, integrity, expertise, experience, Canadian experience, if you keep on trying, will definitely make it big in Canada and get through.
Thank you so much, sir.
Glad to be of help.